Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Frisco Report. The season's over, and everything like that. Can everybody hear me?
Yep,
All
I
right,
got
good,
you.
good. Yeah, it's gonna be one of these videos where we're gonna talk about, we're gonna hit the draft class, our grades on some players here. We'll talk about free agency hits and misses. We'll talk about the season, and we'll close it out with some news tidbits that we're hearing about the coordinators, coaching, and then we'll take a sneak peek at the crystal ball. All right, as far as like what's ahead for the Cowboys, personnel wise, and that sort of thing, Mike. But without further ado, bro, how are you feeling after this loss, bro? I think everybody saw your video. It was a great one. Lots of passion, and it's a sad way to end the season, Mike.
Yeah, I'm still mad at the offense, and that was a growing theme over the course of the year. Is the offense, the offense, the offense. The expectation was there that we had a high-powered offense, and we did against um, 500 or below teams, and uh, and that's just what it is. I mean, every team that we lost to, I think, made the playoffs. That's including the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Chiefs. There's two more losses there that I got to find out, but I think we lost to playoff team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, um, and then the Broncos. That was the only team that we didn't lose to that made the playoffs. So, um, it's just it was this loss here was horrible. We knew that we're a better team, but Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott, the holding penalties, drop footballs, the same thing every year. We were one and done, Joe. One and done.
Yeah, one and done. It's a very embarrassing loss indeed. Before we get started, just want to give a shout out to everybody that has rocked with us all year. From the off season, the draft, free agency, the regular season. We can't do this without you. All right. So, most humbling of all, thank you guys, everybody that watches this on the replay. I'll have this video broken down in chapters. So if you want to catch us on the replay, you can click on the main topics. I'm gonna break that down post video. So shout out to everybody in the chat box, man. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Asmodeus, good to see you in the house. Mario, good to see you. Nick, Mario, Craig English, Donnell, what's up, bro? Yeah,
Scotty.
we got a lot to get through here today. And we have a lot to talk about here. So we got a super chat right out the gate here. Ivan Sanchez, hey, what's up, bro? What's up, Ivan? Joe the Goat Rodriguez, OG subs, gotta hold it down, baby. I'm sad as fuck, but I've come to expect it from the boys. Yeah, that's the thing, man, and that's the sad part about it, right? Is like you keep losing and losing. It's almost like fans, they kind of get desensitized now, where it doesn't hurt as much, right? It's almost like okay, back to the drawing board, which sucks, right? Like that really does suck. Like I was talking to Mike yesterday offline, right?
Yep.
Mike, and we were talking about, man, a few years ago when I started this YouTube, I would have been furious, but I was mad, right? I was mad, but I'm kind of just like you're saying here, Ivan. It's kind of something that we're kind of expecting. It's not a good thing for the Cowboys, right? Mike,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it definitely sucks being a Cowboy fan, but Joe, after this loss and after a rant, and our frustration, you got a Cowboy hat on, I got a Cowboy hat on, you got a polo on, I got a dry fit on. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I don't know if we're dumb or what, but we still wear our Cowboy stuff. So it just sucks.
No, that's what it is, man. We still love these guys. It's a toxic relationship, right? I think a lot of us have had toxic relationships with girlfriends or loved ones or whatever, and that's what the Cowboys are for me. You know what I mean? It's a damn toxic relationship. Can't walk away. It
I,
can't walk away. They're always going to be there, right?
yeah,
So
I tell my wife, I said I love them, but they don't love me.
yeah. So, like I said, we're gonna get into it here, and then we'll also take some Q&As as well, as we go through this. But Mike, let's start out with, we're talking about reviewing the season in review, putting a bow on it. Let's start out with this draft class. Who stood out to you? And did anybody disappoint you from this draft class? Like, what is your overall feel or grade of this draft class, if you want to give it a grade, or just your overall thoughts on the draft class this year?
Yeah, I think we hit on Micah Parsons. I like Chauncey Goldstein, that rookie. I wanted to see more from Aquamu, but we didn't get to see him much. Nashawn Wright, I like his physicality on special teams. I like that he get in people's faces. He did have some starting opportunities here as of late, and he looked good. I think we got a corner there that just has to work on some technique and things of that sort. But I like Bossman Fats's energy. Nashawn Wright, got to see a little bit of him.
Let's a quick look at our draft class there, Mike.
Yeah, I was going off the top of my head. I think I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Nashawn Wright, I mean, he got a few reps too. Oso Odigizua, guy was just a stud. Jabril Cox tore his ACL, but he showed some promise. Josh Ball, Simi Fihoko, those guys really didn't see it. Quentin Bohanna, I like the way he was going in the pocket and causing some disruption in the run game, and then we didn't really see much of Forniak either. But I thought for the most part, I thought Will McClay put a damn good draft board together, and we got some talent here for the future.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said there, Mike. And it's amazing that this draft class, we kept the whole class. You know what I mean? Look at all these picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they hit a home run with Micah Parsons. I think when you talk about, a generational talent, Micah Parsons is definitely that for me. This is a rare type of linebacker, right? I mean, he's like a Derek Thomas, Lawrence Taylor type of hybrid kind of guy that just makes plays, man. He's a game changer, and I think you got to build the defense around this guy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We got some older edge guys, and we'll talk about some of these other players. But yeah, Kelvin Joseph, I think he's definitely going to compete next year. And I think he's going to, at the end of the day, he's probably going to start opposite of Diggs next season. I think the torch is going to go to him already. I just don't see them sitting him again for another year or having him as a rotational piece. He flashed, right? He had a good game here towards the end. So got his feet wet. It took him a little bit of time. And Osa, like you said, a good job there up the middle. Chauncey Golston, I think, we talked about him for a while, Mike, as that Tyron Crawford replacement. I think he played a lot better. I think as the season went on, this guy became a really good run defender.
Yep.
Brought some pressure. Nashawn Wright, I think, pretty good. He got a lot of hype in the training camp and things like that, but yeah, he'll be in the mix. But Jabril Cox, Mike, let's talk a little bit more about him because we're going to have some needs here, free agency, and like I said, we'll touch on that. But Jabril Cox really looked like he was really about to hit the next level,
Yeah.
right when he got hurt. So, how excited are you about Jabril Cox?
Yeah, he had a slow start to the preseason. If you guys remember, he told the media it was the Hall of Fame game. He didn't look too good, and then he comes out. Who was it? Who did we come out against? Came out against the Cardinals, and he played a lot better against the Cardinals. And the media asked him, why was there a difference? He said, "I'm not thinking much. I'm just playing." And you've seen a big difference when he was just playing and not thinking. And when you're ready to play and you don't think on the football field, and anybody that plays football knows this, you play free, you play loose, you play aggressive, you play physical. And Jabril Cox brought that. All right, his biggest moment I think of the season when Danny Dimes went in. And he hit him and gave him concussion, not a plotting injury, but just the physicality that he can bring to the football team is something that I love.
Yeah, and some of the pre-draft, narratives about Jabril Cox, they were way off. He can't tackle, he can't play the run. It was all BS.
Mm-hmm.
He played really well. He was looking pretty good, and I'm excited. That's why I'm not really worried about losing Keanu Neal. I don't think we're bringing him back. And we'll see about LVE, but you're going to have Jabril Cox as a really big, important piece to the defense. Moving on to Josh Ball, Mike. pretty much reserved the whole season. I think it was a high ankle that they took him out, and I think they just redshirted him, really, right?
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
did say that he was packing on the muscle. So played left tackle. This is a guy that he's gonna be in the mix, guys. All right. Fourth round pick. He's a mauler, has a mean streak. Obviously, we know all the controversy and that kind of thing. But on the field, you know, he's got that mean streak, and I think we need some more of that on this offensive line, to be honest. So, you
One hundred
know,
percent.
talk about setting a tone and being physical and this and that. We got to get back to those roots. And, Josh Ball will be in the mix. He'll be in
Mm-hmm.
the mix. Simi Fehoko, Mike, I wasn't too high on him through the whole process. Barely made the team. I think he was on the practice squad at one point, and they brought him back. I think they cut him, brought him back to practice squad. You know, I don't know. He'll be in the mix as far as like some sort of camp body probably. Bohanna, I thought looked good. McQuamu gave us some special teams pop. Now this last guy, Mike, you know, Matt Farniak, right? This guy here, I think this is the center going forward. All right, he looked really good in the preseason. I think the Cowboys wanted to get a good look at Tyler Biadasz, and I think that Tyler Biadasz has a low ceiling. I think he came in with I don't even know if I would say a high floor, but he definitely has a low ceiling. So he might be maxed out already, you know. And I think Matt Farniak and how he looked in the preseason, and when they used him in one of the games as a blocking guy, and he just mauled the crap out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that Philly game. Yeah, he opened up that hole, man. You know, I just think that he plays with more power. And coming out of the Big Ten, these guys are all about mauling everybody. And I know Biadasz is from the Big Ten as well. But I think you hear about some of the early talk. Oh, Tyler Lindenbaum and this and that. He's a great center. But I think that the Cowboys already have the center in place here with Matt Farniak and that sort of thing. But guys, Mike, let me know what you guys think about Matt Farniak for those that really took a look at him.
Yeah.
That's our draft class, guys. Overall, I think this draft class for me it gets I want to say an A, just because a lot of people contributed. I think it's an A draft class, and I think we're going to carry a lot of these guys into the next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a hell of a draft class, and I can't wait to see year two for Michael Parsons, Oso Dikizua, Kelvin Joseph, Quentin Bohanna, Nashawn Wright. Yeah, we got a lot of free agents, but a lot of people forget about this draft class because a lot of guys weren't there, like Forniak and Josh Ball and McQuamu. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they transition to year two.
Yeah, that's what it is, guys. And if for anybody that's interested, this is from our Frisco Report website. This is thefriscoreport.com. So if you guys want to go in here and just bookmark this site, we have all the audio podcast on here. So check it out. We got, the draft class is obviously going all the way back to when I started the channel, 2003. And draft history as well. Got all these guys, bro. So, you know, it's a good little patient visit. So appreciate all you guys. A Lavelle got a super chat here, Mike. We'll get to A Lavelle. Appreciate you, A Lavelle, coming through always. What's up, Joe and Mike? Thank you for all your hard work you put in this year. Man, I really appreciate that, man. Hope you guys and your families are doing well. Joe, glad you are feeling better. Yeah, man. Shout out to A Lavelle, man. You consistent subscriber to the channel. Appreciate it. It's real humbling to get super chats from a lot of our loyal fans, man, because it's a lot of work, and we do appreciate everybody sticking with us and checking out the channel. And Mike and I, we have that niche in the community where we don't sugarcoat anything. You know what I mean? We're gonna give it to you real. We're just not gonna, massage people to think that a different kind of way. It's we try to give you the realest, that we can. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you, man. Families are doing good, and thank you, man. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still a little bit quarantined right now, but I think I'm about to finish that out this week. But appreciate you, bro.
No, yeah, hey Lavelle, appreciate you, brother. Always coming in the clutch, um, and doing what you do there. We highly appreciate it. And like Joe said, we keep it real. We keep it 100. You know, there's a lot of fakes, there's a lot of frauds, and you won't find that here on the Frisco Report. I guarantee it.
Appreciate you, A. Lavelle. Much appreciated, bro. See what else we got in here, guys. Let's see if we have any Q&As here we can hit on before we get to the next topic. Yeah, we'll talk about some of the news here at the end of the video, guys. So, let's talk about free agents, Mike. Off the top of your head, who did we hit on? Who did we miss on? Guys in the chat box, let us know as well. Which free agents did we hit on this season? Who did we miss on? Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do hot, medium, and cold. Okay, my hot would be J-Ron Curse, my medium would be Terrell Basham, and my cold would be Keon O'Neal. I thought when J-Ron Curse came, I downplayed him. I was wrong. Guy came out under a Dan Quinn system and really made some noise. My other code would be DeMonte KZ. I thought there was more potential there for him. Didn't succeed. The Atlanta Falcon, the carryover, and KZ and Keon O'Neal just didn't work out, in my opinion. And I thought Terrell Basham had some pressures. I thought he, really came along late in the season, got a couple of sacks underneath his belt. And then obviously I gave you my codes, but that would be my hot, medium, and cold.
Yeah, those are good ones there. I like I think my number one is Jaron Curse. I have to pat myself on the back because I liked him from the get-go, and I did a video saying I liked him over Donna Wilson. All right. Got a lot of flack on that one, man. But I love to be right on that one because the guy was impactful, man. He set the tone. He had that size, and he's I think he's better than Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson cannot stay healthy. He's another Sean Lee at safety, all right. But he was a hit for me. I like Malik Hooker. You know, he was a late addition, and I think that might be some of that you may consider to bring back. You know, Malik Hooker, for the right price. You know what I mean? But I think Jaron Curse is going to be a guy that I want to bring back. You know what I mean? Because safety, I think we got a pretty good depth there. Kazee, I think I like him a little bit more than you, Mike, which is fine. I just like the way he played run defense. Coverage, not so much, right? So, but I thought that he, hit the run fits good. Hit and strike kind of guy, but a little bit of a knucklehead. He had that DWI crap. So if the Cowboys do bring him back, expect Hitler. All right, Roger Goodell can slap him with you know what I mean, with what do they call it? Suspension. Right?
Yeah, suspension. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Goodell will be all over that. So keep an eye on that there. But yeah, I like that. Basham for me, I didn't like Basham myself. I just thought that I wanted more. You know what I mean? Like he was a good rotational piece. And like you said, you're right. He did pick it up at the end, but it was too little, too late. Some of those games where we needed a pass rush, we didn't get it from Dorrance, we didn't get it from Basham at times. It was just like I hated when those guys were in there together because I knew nothing was going to really happen. I mean, they did make plays here and there, right? Even Dorrance, Basham as well. I'll give them their flowers on that. But I think some of those were misses. Urban, I think that was an incomplete. You know what I mean? I think he was on his way. Now, the one that I liked that really, surprised the crap out of me was Carlos Watkins. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I had him as a camp body. I really did. I said, "Oh, Carlos Watkins, Texans. What do they know?" Well, prove me wrong. I thought he had a solid, year for us. But those are some of the ones that come to my mind there, Mike. But pretty decent. We definitely did a lot better this free agency than the previous one. That previous one was a complete train wreck.
A lot of them previous was this. I think this was the best draft and the best free agency Mike McCarthy and Will McClay put together.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, you're right. You're right about that, Mike. It was a good combo, and those are the type of things you need to make a run like the Cowboys made. It didn't end how we wanted it, and it was kind of a frustrating season. It was a weird 12-5 year. It felt like we were just like, it didn't feel like a 12-5 season, Mike. You know what I mean?
It
So
really didn't.
so we'll transition to that now. As far as like the season, the totality of it, Mike. How did you feel the Cowboys? Was there first? What is the identity of the offense, and what's the identity of the defense? Like, what did you see after this season? What's the identity?
The identity for I'm going to start with the defense because they actually have one. The identity was man coverage, and that was something new to the Cowboys. Under the previous Mike Nolan and Rod Marinelli, we ran a lot of zone scheme. So to see a lot of man scheme was something new, and I liked it. I liked the interceptions. I liked the turnovers. They were first in takeaways in the NFL. I thought, having a rookie have 13 sacks, I thought was fantastic. I don't know the number off the top of my head of how many sacks we actually got, but I think it was in the high 30s, which is a really good defense. When you get that many interceptions, you get that many sacks, you're a really good defense. I liked how they held they held the Broncos forever until they got real tired, and the Broncos scored 30. I liked how Randy Gregory was able to resurrect his career in a full season, and get a couple of sacks and knock Mac Jones right on his A. I liked what the defense did. I really did. I was drinking the Dan Quinn Kool-Aid real early, even in the off season. I was like, I love what Dan Quinn does. And a lot of people are like, he don't have the Legion of Doom. I was like, no, but he has players respect and players want to play for him. And when you have that, Joe, your defense can go a long way, and it showed. Now, on the offense side of the ball, it was a real disappointment. When you go into KC and your defense holds them to 19 points, you got to score more than 19 points on offense, especially when you got guys like Cooper and Lamb and Tony Pollard and, a lot of talent, right? But they really couldn't get the run game going. And Dak Prescott, I really think he's a mediocre quarterback. I've been saying that since 2017. Dak Prescott needs a play action. And when they stop the run game and they make him one-dimensional, Dak Prescott, he doesn't win the game for you. You hear it all the time. Stop the run game, you stop the Cowboys offense, and you've seen that multiple times. Zeke Elliott just came out. He had a torn PCL. It's a ligament behind the ACL. They didn't give Tony Pollard a consistent amount of touches like they did in the first of the year towards the back end of the year, and he had that torn ligament in his foot.
Mhm.
There was a lot of things that stopped it. The offensive line, bad coaching, couldn't get the penalties fixed, boneheaded mistakes. Connor Williams was a big liability here. Lyle Collins, I really thought was a big liability. This offensive line. Big shout out to Terrence Steele. He held it down. Then they started flip flopping him around, and he got a little rusty, and they had to pull him and put Lyle Collins back there. I just thought that, yes, we had all the stats and we had all the touchdowns and we had this, we had that, but we didn't have it against good teams on offense. We just didn't, Joe, and that's unfortunate. It just looked sluggish. We played the Falcons. They're nobody. We scored 40 points on them. We got basically shut out from the Broncos. The Broncos, Joe.
Yeah.
There's so many times we put up so many points, but it was against sorry teams. And the inconsistency of the offense, it started before the bye week. It started at New England, Joe. It started, it started at we scored 44 points. And yeah, we scored 35 points against New England, but it seemed like it took us a long time to get to that 35 points. You know what I mean? And it looked sluggish. And then we get to our bye week, Joe. Dak gets hurt. We play the Vikings, and then No, I'm sorry. Yeah, then we played the Patriots. Then we played the Vikings. Cooper Rush went in there, won the game for us, and then that inconsistent offense blew up in our face against the Broncos, and it hasn't been the same since. Our wide receivers couldn't beat press coverage, press man, bump and run. They couldn't beat that. Um, we had a lot of drops. We had a lot of holding penalties. We had a lot of inaccurate, inconsistent play from Dak Prescott, boneheaded mistakes, some interceptions here, some fumbles there. And there's no identity on the offense. The only identity they have is play action. And if that don't work, they're done.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's good takes there, Mike. For me defensively, I um I like what they did. Getting Dan Quinn over what we had the season before. It was like night and day. He knows how to use the talent, right? He knew how to scheme players, right? Like he knew how to use Michael Parsons, and then how to use him in certain situations, when to use him more as a traditional mid linebacker, when to bring him on a blitz. And yeah, 13 sacks. Broke the record, right? Broke the Marcus Ware's rookie record or whatever it was, and just unbelievable. Year two Trayvon Diggs with the interceptions, beautiful, beautiful defense. So I think it was a lot better defense, but there's still a lot of work to do. Somebody said bend don't break defense. I think that's fair because there were times where we had a lot of points on the board, right? Some of these games were shootouts, like 30 to whatever the hell, and a lot of points on the board, right? A lot of yards. So they do need to clean some stuff up for sure. So that's going to be interesting as far as defense, but I thought they did good, with free agency. Like I said, I think year two of our rookie class on defense is really going to be outstanding. I think Michael Parsons, a full offseason in the weight room as well, bigger, stronger, faster, probably going to run a 4-0 flat. No, I'm playing. But I'm really pumped about the future of the defense. Even if we lose Dan Quinn, as long as we get the right coordinator here, and we'll talk about that here in the next segment. But offensively, I'm with you, Mike. There's no identity. They were lost out there, and you have Mike McCarthy who has made a lot of playoff appearances and a play caller, and they continue to crap the bed with Kellen Moore. You know what I mean? It's almost like Jason's Garrett's Trojan horse, right? He left us a parting gift in Kellen Moore, and it's sabotaging the offense. I just pray that he gets out of here, bro. I think if he's back, man, we can draft everybody. We can revamp this and that. If he's still here, it's going to be sucky. It's not going to be good. I don't have any confidence in Kellen Moore. I really don't. So with Kellen Moore, you're probably gonna have a couple losses just because they don't. He does. It's not like Dan Quinn, right? I said Dan Quinn can scheme players like Kellen Moore cannot scheme for Dak Prescott.
No,
Dak Prescott needs a coordinator that will scheme him. Dak Prescott's not a 50 plus pass attempt quarterback.
he's not.
He's not.
He's not even a 40.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's not. They need to bring that number down. They need to reestablish that running game, but they got to bring his number down and fix that because the way we're at right now, you're not gonna extend Dak Prescott right now as it looks right now. The 4-year deal, all right. Year two, you want to see an NFC Championship appearance because in year three, you know, you're gonna need to start drafting quarterbacks because you got to see it, man. You got to see next. Like you and I talk about this offline, Mike, and we'll talk about it now. We're at different levels as far as like what we think on Dak, but I'm kind of creeping up on you, man, because I'm like I was very very patient, right? But this upcoming season, I'm on it, man. I want to see it. I want to see. Don't give me these overthrows, these crap games where and this and that. So that's the spotlight in Dallas, man. It happened to Romo. It really did. Dak is coming up on what is it? This is going to be
You'll be year 7 next year.
Year 7, and basically the same offense, right? The same kind of shitty little Garrett Linehan crap ass offense. Pull that crap out of here and let's get a scheme for him. Dude, we all need to pray, dude. Do whatever kind of magic, praying, whatever the hell you need to do so we can get Kellen Moore the hell out of here. That guy is killing us, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I think you made a fair point. And somebody said in there, why does, people got bad offensive lines, they got no time to throw. But when it comes to Dak, he gets criticized. I think there was times where Dak had a clean pocket. And Sunday Night Football did a fantastic preview of Dak's footwork. And a lot of quarterbacks, when they step up and throw their swing leg, they like to pick it up and get the most of their swing. Dak likes to keep it an inch off the ground, and that's why he does the hip practice thing, because he likes to just throw it with his foot off the ground. And Sunday Night Football did a great thing of, he goes, sometimes that ball is inaccurate. And we're talking about a guy that played quarterback in high school. He played quarterback in college. He's about to enter his 7th year in the NFL, and he still don't have his footwork right because he's comfortable throwing the ball like that. I don't know what happened to Dak's throw on the runs, but they were ugly, Joe. They were behind everybody. You look at Troy Aikman, you look at Greg Olson, you look at Tony Romo, all these commentators that played football are calling out Dak's accuracy because it's there. It's been there. It just hasn't been glorified, and fans are starting to wake up. I've been saying this since 2017. Fans are starting to wake up. It's been there. And when you have to put the ball in his hands, he doesn't win you the game. Period. He just doesn't. The comeback wins, you could blame the field goal kickers. A lot of them come from Dan Bailey and Brett Maher and these kickers, right? A lot of it is Zeke running the football. So it's not the game winners. I hate that stat because it's not all on the quarterback. It's not all on the quarterback. If the kicker missed that field goal, his number's way lower. You see what I'm saying? If Dak don't get the touchdown in 2016 against the Steelers, his number's lower. So I don't like the 11 comeback drives because it's a false number.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And it's just when it's one of those topics, and it's like this with Romo. If you have an opinion on him, you're automatically labeled a hater or whatever it is. But
yeah.
it's just you have to be critical of your players, right? I personally don't give players a pass on anything, no matter what their status is on the team. If Jalen Smith is crappy, and I love Notre Dame, I love if he's not good, I'm gonna say, he's a liability, right? So Dak Prescott, as much as I like him, that 2016 season gave him a lot of fan capital, right? It has stretched a long time, but now he's getting long in the tooth, right? 7 years, and we're not winning. We're not getting past the divisional round. You know what I mean? And that was Romo. We didn't get past the divisional round, so you're going to be under the electron microscope.
I think the Reaper has it wrong. The Reaper's saying, okay, release Dak and play Cooper Rush because you guys are talking like there's such good quarterbacks out there. You're missing the point here, Reaper. You really are. I'm not saying – I've never said Dak sucks. I'll say he's trash when he's trash, absolutely. But I'm not saying Dak sucks. I'm saying Dak he's not elite. Dak is not elite. I don't care what you say. Dak, you can't put Dak in the conversation of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. You can't put him in the conversation to that. You just can't. What I'm saying is Dak Prescott is a bus driver. He's I think First Take, not First Take, he's Undisputed compared him to Kirk Cousins, which I think is a fair comparison because he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. He'll make you a couple of good plays there. He'll make some boneheaded mistakes there, but when everything's perfect and you got the run game, he's going to be successful. He don't suck. He's not elite. He's just a middle-of-the-pack quarterback, and his QBR it says that.
Yeah. Texylvania Cowboy, appreciate the super chat. Why is nobody questioning Dak continues to throw behind receivers 7 years now? Dak is not it. I'd rather have Russell for Dak. Yeah, it's kind of what we've been talking about here, right? So, yeah, I agree, and that's what we're talking about, right? Like 7 years, you would expect that to be a lot cleaner, a lot crisper. Like, I'm he should have the offense perfected by now, right? So, yeah, those struggles continue. And I do kind of wonder if the Cowboys are hiding the calf strain. Was it an actual tear? Because even in that playoff game, when he ran for that touchdown, it looked awkward as hell, bro. It looked weird. When he runs, it looks really, really awkward. Like it doesn't look normal. When he slides, it looks crazy, like almost like he's just gonna trip. You know what I mean? They even said on the color cast like that. Wow, what that was a crazy slide. So will we ever find out about the calf? Maybe we will. This might be one of these like things that we find out later in the offseason, like Zeke. I suspected the Zeke injury. I did a video before he even revealed it, and I hit on that because nobody was talking about it, right? Like, what the hell exactly is Zeke's injury, right? Same with Dak, right? I don't think anybody's talking about it enough. Is it really a tear, right? Was he dealing with a tear and not a strain? Because we all know the Cowboys are BSers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
They
yeah.
hid, they hid that Zeke injury.
Yeah.
They when was that? The Carolina game?
Yeah. No,
I
that
mean,
was it was
Washington?
it was the end of the game. Yeah, I think it was Washington. Let me look at the schedule here real quick. Uh, it was before the bye week. So
Okay.
it was before we played the Vikings. So it was the Patriots game.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say it was early like that because that's when he looked like a different runner after that. Then they put the brace on there. Oh, he's just running with the brace. Oh, he's good. Nobody questioned what the hell what was it, right? So that was crazy there. Let me get to another super chat. Chat box is on fire. Appreciate everybody in the chat box, man. Good, great conversation. We're talking about everything here this season. I saw one there from April. April, we got one here. April. Appreciate you, April. Glad you're better. Miss Cabo time. Yeah. Thank you, April. Yeah, I feel a ton better. It took me a while to get over it. Yeah, but it was really mild for me. You know what I mean? But it was hard to get my rest because I couldn't breathe. And, even walking around, I was a little winded a little bit, but it wasn't like anything crazy where I had to go like to the hospital or anything like that. But appreciate that, April. Long time subscriber to the channel. Get back to the drawing board. It's your time. Draft us someone great. Yeah, April, we're definitely gonna be here for you and everybody for draft time. I already got that going, and we'll keep that going. We got the Senior Bowl and everything coming up. So lots to talk about still. You know what I mean? It's an all year affair here with the Cowboys.
And
Our
then,
toxic relationship continues.
yeah. And the fifth quarter, put another super chat in there, too.
Fifth quarter Cowboys. Good to see fifth quarter. Hit up my boy fifth quarter. He's better than Cousins. Give him a little credit. Yeah, he's definitely better than Cousins.
I can't agree with that, dude, because someone put in the comment section like Aaron Rodgers hasn't been to an NFC championship game, blah, 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 blah. Aaron Rodgers wins playoff games. They don't lose to Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, they're not going to, like, Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Garoppolo are going to play Sunday, okay? Aaron Rodgers is not going to lose to the 49ers. They're just not, okay? There's a difference. When you got to compare quarterbacks, you got to compare quarterback. You can't compare this, that, and the third. You got to look at everything. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Then someone said, well, why did Jerry pay him elite money? You ever heard of buyer's remorse? When I bought these glasses right here that came in the mail, I hated them. I was like, I should have never bought these glasses. I got new ones coming. Maybe next year I'll have them on, right? Like, if you ever bought something and you hated it, there's a thing called buyer's remorse. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes it takes a month. Jerry Jones, you don't know what he's feeling. They had to go with current market, right? So they had to pay him elite money because of the current market. He had a good agent. Dak kind of had some leverage there, right? Uh, but Dak got everything he wanted. So when you get everything you wanted in negotiations, you can't play like a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. You just can't. Kirk Cousins' deal was all guaranteed. At that time in the market, that contract was crazy. Y'all remember that? So when you get that elite $40 million a year, $75 million in the first year, you have to at least win a playoff game, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, she definitely should have won something there for sure. Fifth quarter, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for swinging by. Um, Great conversation in the chat box. Appreciate everybody. Now, as far as we'll switch over. We'll switch gears now into the news of the day. All right, what's ahead for the Cowboys? Let's take that crystal ball out and do a little predicting here, soothsayer, as I call it. All right. What does the future hold for the Cowboys, Mike? If we're opening the game here, let's say game one, we're going to Philly. What is the season going to look like for you next season? What has to happen?
Well, we got a lot of free agents, Joe. So, and we still got the draft, but Philly, they're not the hype team that they're gonna be. Of course, I don't know what they're gonna do in free agency and the draft, but I made a bold prediction that we'll go 6-0 in the NFC East. That's on my Twitter feed. If y'all want to go follow that, I said we're going to go 6-0 in the division, and I still think next year we can still go 6-0 in that division. It's a weak ass division. The Cowboys do great against weak teams, so I see us going 6-0 again.
Yeah, I think. I think it's going to be. It's going to be a very interesting season because I think you have. I think everybody's on the hot seat automatically. I think it'll be because you're already talking about fans wanting to get rid of McCarthy already, which I'm not on board with that. But he'll be on the hot seat. Dak Prescott, that the hot seat's already on, so that's on there. Your year 3 players, CeeDee Lamb. We got to see that the next league. If you get rid of, and now we're talking about the current news topics. Amari Cooper, Mike. Word is there's conversations about are they going to bring him back or do they let him leave via trade, release, or whatever? What's your thought on how that affects the offense and how does CeeDee Lamb figure into this conversation, Mike?
I don't trust CeeDee Lamb. He had way too many drops, Joe. Amari Cooper, this conversation, big shout out to the Frisco Report. Me and you, we talked about this scenario last offseason. So they can do away with this. This could be the last year for Amari Cooper. Do they use that money to sign Michael Gallup? Right? So big shout out to the Frisco Report. We were talking about this earlier and so earlier this year. So it's not a surprise. It all depends. I think the salary cap's going up. I think they'll keep Amari Cooper, though, when it's all said and done, because you're not going to sign Michael Gallup over Cooper. Lamb hasn't showed anything that he could take over a guy like Amari Cooper yet. So I think they stick with the Cooper.
The Coop machine, bro. Yeah, I think this will be interesting if they bring him back or not. They want to see more production. His numbers, they dipped, right? So CeeDee Lamb, is he a number one? Can he take over? You know what I mean?
Dan Quinn out of Dallas, is that true?
Yeah, let's see if anybody can confirm that, or are we getting trolled? We always get the troll, but sometimes the trolling is real, right? So we'll let Mike look that up while we talk about this. But CeeDee Lamb, right? Year 3, Tom Landry, Bill Parcells always said year 3 is the money year. Like, or is this guy going to be a long-term answer, or is this guy is that it? You know what I mean? So huge year for CeeDee Lamb next year, regardless if Amari is here or not. I think he really needs to take that next leap. You know what I mean? We saw his yardage and receptions go up, and that sort of thing, but you really didn't see like he didn't stack games where he like took over games. You know what I mean? Like when you think of number 88, like Dez Bryant, Michael Irvin, There were games where they took over, even with coverage, they took over games, right? So, um, CD Lamb, I got to see that from him in year 3. So, how do you guys feel about CD Lamb? If he has to take over that number 1 position, are you confident that he can do it, or does the offense take a little bit of a step back? Guys, let me know.
Nothing about Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I figured that. So Dan Quinn is still interviewing. I don't, you know, somebody would basically have to blow him out the water. He's still interviewing with a bunch of teams here. He already interviewed with I think he's interviewing with Denver next. Kellen Moore just finished there, and Denver, he's got a stop in Chicago. He's going to be interviewing there. Um, Jacksonville, he's going to interview there. He declined to interview during the season, but now the season's over. He is interviewing there with Jacksonville. So I heard that the Raiders are also interested as well. Miami, Minnesota. So he has a lot of options, right? So it would be a miracle if Dan Quinn returns, in my opinion. That's why I'm looking at some other defensive coordinators, Mike, and we'll go ahead and talk about Dan Quinn since this is the latest news on interviewing. Who do you like as a potential replacement? Do you want to go in-house, Joe Witt, or do you want to go and pick somebody off the street?
Who the heck was the Broncos head coach? What was his name?
Vic Fangio.
I would want him or Joe Witt. That's who I would want.
Yeah, I'm fully on board. I'm on the Vic Fangio train. If you hit me up on Twitter, I put a clip there of Michael Parsons. He did a video podcast, and he talked about what teams were talking about him pre-draft, and one of them was Vic Fangio. Said, I'm going to use you as a middle linebacker. I'm going to use you as an outside linebacker. So in my mind, that's what you want. You want the guy who knows how to scheme these players, bro. Did it with Von Miller, schemed them up really well. And I think that's who I want. That's my number 1 choice. Joe Wood Jr. I think is a solid choice. He did really good when they gave him the keys in the preseason. He had a good matchup there, Mike. My other one that I would consider would be Mike Zimmer. Would be another one that I would consider as well. He's available. I know Mike McCarthy, faced those defenses, and they gave him fits a lot of times. So a lot of back and forth matches between Minnesota and Mike McCarthy. In that rivalry. So he knows what he's capable of doing. So that'll be interesting there, Mike. Excuse me, everybody. Still dealing with the remnants. Let's see. We got a super chat here. Alakai Trimble. Jerry crowned him early. Anointed him like he actually did stuff. I believe Jerry gives them parameters to game plan around so he can market players. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, definitely. I wonder about Jerry with that, right? Because I know he definitely did that with Jalen. He gave him the deal. He gave him, the spotlight for his sunglasses and clear eye view and this and that. So yeah, there's definitely something to that. Jersey sales, that's a real thing, right? The ticket sales, anything that's merch, right?
Anything that's revenue.
Anything that's revenue, right? I mean, what are they now? Like $6 or $7 billion franchise?
They're number one in the world.
Number 1 in the world. So that's, yeah, you gotta keep that number. And how do you do it? You gotta keep the interest, right? So that's what it is, bro. I agree, Alakai. There's definitely something to that, and that's kind of what I talk about is this Jerry Jones culture, right? And we could have Vince Lombardi or Bill Belichick here. Would that change? I don't know, because you have Jerry back here. You have the players that have a direct line to the owner. You can lose a game and be like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We'll be back next year. Jerry Jones loves me. I'm safe here. I'm safe." That's the culture, bro. Like that's the nucleus of the whole shebang is Jerry. You know, he defangs, declaws these coaches. You know what I mean? I mean, as good of a coach Bill Parcells was, I mean, he probably had the most say so with the roster. But once Jerry put the pressure on him with Terrell Owens, the divorce, right? So Jerry still has a lot of pressure on these coaches. You know what I mean? I even look back to this year, Mike, with Terrence Steele, you know, and Lyle. In the back of my mind, I kind of feel like that maybe that was Jerry pressuring that. You know what I mean? I think the coaches they want to move on here to Terrence Steele. They've said it before. They like him as a future tackle and meddling, right? They talk about continuity on that offensive. We didn't have it. You can't play like that. You have a player coming off rust in and out the lineup. Terrence Smith, he's done, bro. Lyle Collins, do you move him at do you try to get something out of him and move him at guard? Or I don't like him at tackle anymore. I'm out on that. Guard or get out, right? So a lot of work to do here on the offensive line, Mike. You know, we're talking about offensive line. How do you fix this offensive line in your opinion, Mike? Where do you start? What do you do?
Well, you got to get you a left guard. Because the holding penalties from Connor Williams, God, they were crucial. They were crucial, Joe. The holding penalties were a disaster.
Yep.
From Connor Williams. They put in Connor McGovern there. He's obviously a right guard. They put him at left guard. That didn't work out. I mean, he was getting beat because the technique's just the complete opposite. I think someone made the comment. It's like trying to wipe your butt with your left hand if you're right-handed, because that's how different it is, right? And
that's hilarious. Who said that?
I think it was Mike McCarthy. And you know, and so I didn't like the Connor McGovern at left guard thing. He obviously needs to back up Zach Martin. And the left guard, like Tyler Biadasz, I mean, he's supposed to help. Him and Dak are supposed to have this bond on how to set up your pass protection, and they just didn't have it. And so, right guard or right tackle, I mean, Lyle Collins, I think it was more of a distraction for him than anything, because the suspension and the courts, and Dak had to go testify for him. So I don't think he was right up here. We know last year he was a Pro Bowl snub last year. You can't be a top 5 talent and then just drop off like that. I think it was up here. So I want to give Lyle Collins another shot, if I'm being honest with you. But we got to do something with left guard for sure, and put some competition in here for center.
No, that's a great point, Mike, on Lyle Collins. I'm with you. I think I give him one more year. And for me, though, I do want to get a look at him at guard, because I just don't see a spot on him with tackle. You know, if they want to move in a new direction, I think Terrence Steele finds a starter role somewhere on this line, preferably right tackle, because when he was at right tackle, the success was we were booming, right? In the beginning of the year, we were booming there. But then in and out the lineup, you know, put him at left and this sort of thing. So I would love to see him at left guard, to be real. You know, I hope these conversations happen right now. Like, hey, man, you know, as they do these exit interviews, right, which are happening right now, I hope to say, hey, we're going to put you at left guard. All right, big boy. So get ready to start mauling people. Let's see those highlights again. I mean, when they had him at left guard, we all saw the highlights. He was mauling the shit out of people, right?
Yeah.
At right tackle, you don't see that as much, right? So I'm with you though, man. I like I said, Tyler Biadasz, I think the camp battle will be him, Farniak. Farniak wins. You know, I really do. I think he's going to
see. People want to look at the left tackle position too, Joe.
Oh yeah.
You look at the left. You look at the left guard. But hear me out. You look at the left guard position. The last person to hold that down was Ronald Leary, and he was damn good at it. Last person to hold down center was Travis Frederick. He was a Pro Bowler. We haven't replaced those two. So if you want to replace Tyron Smith, you better make sure, because that's Dak's blind side. That's the most important position on the offense right there. That blind side left tackle. I
Yeah.
don't want to be 5 years down the road saying, God, we haven't replaced Tyron Smith yet.
Yeah. And that's what they're going to do. You know, Ty and Secchi, they're not bringing them back. Free agency, they're not going to sign any big players. So everybody, don't get pissed. They just don't do it. That's not it. You're going to see the big names. They're not going to do it. All right. They're not going to trade for Derwin James. They're not going to magically somehow get Jamal Adams. They're not doing none of that business. So yeah, look for another relatively quiet free agency. Besides signing their own guys, which we have big decisions with Dalton Schultz, Randy Gregory. And let me ask everybody here. I did a poll on the community, and I'll ask you this, Mike. If you could only keep one defensive end, do you keep Randy Gregory or do you keep DeMarcus Lawrence? Guys, in the chat box, let me know. If you could only have one, are you staying with Randy Gregory or DLaw?
Dude, that is so hard because they're two different players. You're talking about DLaw, who's one of the best run defenders in the National Football League. You're talking about Gregory, who and Tank don't really get a lot of sacks, right? He gets a lot of pressures, but Gregory, how many sacks did he have this year? 7? And then DeMarcus Lawrence missed a lot of games, so we didn't get to see his full potential if he was going to sack. But, I mean, he came in, he forced fumbles. He forced fumble week 1. He came back after all that. He forced another fumble. He got a pick six, right? He was very opportunistic, and we didn't get to see him have a full potential because he got hurt. And health has been an issue. Randy Gregory, on the other hand, I think we could trust him now. I think all that past is behind him. Joe, this is hard. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real honest. I think I'm going to stay with Tank.
We got a good mix in here in the chat box, so that's interesting here. Let me highlight some of these. We got Randy, we got a DLaw, we got another DLaw. Oh, this is going quick. M Low says DLaw is overpaid. Lawrence, he is. Oh, these are flying by. What do you keep Dorrance and Randy? Dorrance is sucky, bro. He needs to get out of here. That guy is no good, man. I'll be quite honest. Yeah.
Some people are with me about Tank. Some people want Randy. But yeah, I would stick with Tank, dude. I would really stick with Tank.
Danny Savage says Tank is overpaid. You don't pay run defenders $20 million a year. That's always the argument there, right? And it's a fair argument, right? Jerry always talks about the war daddy, right? Who is the war daddy on this team? For me, it's Micah, right? And he's your linebacker. So
yeah, that's true. That is true.
The other thing here that will be interesting is, do they keep Micah in the same type of role? Is he going to be the your Mike / pass rusher, or are they going to say, hey, you know what? We're letting this guy go. We're going to move you here at end, and you're going to just be pass rushing every single down. You know what I mean? Do you think that's a scenario, Mike, or do you think they'll keep him in the kind of role that he's in right now?
I think if we get like Joe Witt or we get the former Bronco head coach, I think they'll use Micah Parsons the way they use him this year. And if they don't, I question that defensive coordinator's strategies and smartness, because you have to have Micah Parsons rush the passer. Guy got 13 sacks.
Yeah.
I would definitely question that defensive coordinator's smartness.
No, you're right, bro. I think that'll be the biggest part of the interview process, assuming that Dan Quinn leaves, which I'll be shocked if he doesn't, right? But gotta scheme him up, right? Gotta scheme him up, and that's why I think we'll be good on defense. But I need an offensive guy to scheme up an offense for Dak, because it's not Kellen Moore. Guys, no. if we keep Kellen Moore here, bro, it's gonna be a long season. I guarantee it. I mean, he's not gonna play the strings of Dak Prescott.
If we keep Kellen Moore strictly as offensive coordinator, Mike McCarthy better be calling plays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that needs to happen. And supposedly there was a rumor floating around that at the end, Mike McCarthy took over the calls. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or just, one of these, rumors that are floating out there. But
I think
I'm
it's
with
just
you,
a
Mike.
rumor.
If they keep they if they keep this guy, if they keep Kellen, he's got to take over, man. Like this crap will never change. Guys, we appreciate everybody that joined us live. Great conversation. We put a bow on the 2021 season. It was a good one. It was better, but it was not successful. We didn't get deep in the playoffs, and we didn't get to the big dance. So that's what it is, man. But I think on the personnel side, the players, I think you have some good stuff to work with, right? Now it's just far as like scheming it up, especially offense. Offense has to take that next leap. I think the defense passed up the offense already. So offense, you got to revamp that O-line. That's number one for me. That O-line has to be fixed. You cannot roll out this same O-line or you're in big ass trouble. It's gonna be tough. But guys, thank you everybody. Appreciate everybody that joined us tonight. Make sure you guys pound that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you check back the channel. It's gonna be full draft mode, free agency talk. The rest of the way. So expect mock drafts coming your way, free agents discussion coming your way, and it never ends here on the channel. So appreciate you guys. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in here. Tuesday nights, Frisco Report, FriscoReport.com, Frisco Report, the Frisco Report on Twitter, guys. _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter, Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube, guys. I do appreciate the love and support from all you guys. Sorry you guys had to listen to a 5-minute rant Sunday, but I was royalty pissed. All right.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. But that's it tonight, guys. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace out, everybody. Go Cow-
on one side, but that guy on the other.
Gotta change that out screen video. Peace, everybody.